It's like 7:55. I was just woken up by some sort of a large critter jumping around. It was a bird, I guess, pounding around on the top of the van. It's always nature's alarm clock's going to get you woken up, but I slept incredible. Not a sound. I mean, just beautiful wind blowing through the trees. I was fully bundled up, so it got cold. I was in my base lair and my military sleep system. And I started off with the wool blanket over all of that. And my cap, my hat, wool hat. So it got chilly. You know, not too chilly. I bet it was probably, in the high 30s or something. But beautiful, that fire that I made last night. I'm all stuffed up maybe from it, but it's the smell. I don't know if it was cherry wood, apple wood, manzanita. Turkey vultures are out there. Anyway, beautiful. So I've got to get up. Good morning. Nature's alarm clock. Wow, beautiful. It's early, and it's already warm. It's 8 in the morning. Look at that. Get some coffee going on my beautiful Coleman unleaded gas stove. Get the fuel started. Even though I drink decaf, it's all mental. So this is my beautiful Coleman unleaded stove that I had always wanted and found out at Goodwill. For $5 at the Goodwill bins. So when I got it, I was so excited because I've looked for these for years. And I always find the normal ones, right? Just this exact stove that doesn't say unleaded camp stove. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I always, I said, oh, it's got to be the unleaded. So I get it. I make a video about it. And immediately I get dozens of comments, everybody saying, they all run, you can use any Coleman stove, it'll run it. This is the governor here, and inside it's got these little points and stuff, and what they say is that the unleaded, they've built it differently so it doesn't get as gummed up and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, these experts, guys that have been collecting Coleman stoves for 40 years, they're like, nah, Coleman stove will run anything. Anyway, I still love it. So we got to pump it up. That's pretty good. Now the thing is, for 8 years I ran this exact stove, but propane. So you've got the propane connection, you've got the propane tank, and the tank is heavy, it's bulky, you've got to go refill it. This is just unleaded fuel right here. It's just so much easier for me, especially not carrying around that tank that I had up on the top of the roof rack on the van. It was a pain in the ass to get it filled. Come on. I'm not afraid. I mean, the burn it's not gonna burn me, but it singes all the hair, and then for the next 2 days you smell like you went to a bad barbershop or something and got tortured. Anyway, get this guy back on here, let this thing heat up. Yeah, I just love this. It's just all about simplifying. And weight, just like your kit. Weight. So So this thing reduces my weight radically. No more giant propane tank. Now the one thing I wanted to do here today, you got to get the lid for that, was go up. When I came in, I saw some natural little miniature waterfalls coming off the side. So I want to walk up there because there's no water. I explored everywhere around here. There's nothing here. So I bet that can't be more than a quarter mile up the road. If you look around my camp, you'll see that I've got all my clothing. It's all laying in the sun. Anytime you've got sun, you want to take advantage of that. Get all your clothing out. Let it be in the sun. Right, here's my shirt I slept in. Here's my socks drying off. You want to take advantage of that sun. My wool sweater and my scarf. Another tip, if you've got drinks and stuff, put them on the east side of your car as much as you can for the day. You can see I'm getting all that natural shade just coming right off the van. Keep your drinks a lot cooler. And you can put your cooler here too, your igloo. Again, disaster, you know the story. I'm working on it. But yeah, everything out, spread open, getting that sun on it. Because basically you're killing all of the bacteria, right? You're filth that you are. We're filth. No, we're shedding skin and we're basically just filthy animals. So you put that out in the sun and it kills it. Check our coffee here. I realize how spoiled I am since I've been using that jet boil. This has taken, I swear, it seems like it's been about 5 minutes. She's finally going. So we're also at altitude up here. Maybe, I don't know, does the unleaded fuel burn differently than the butane? I mean, I think we're only at like 3,000 feet. Careful. I don't even know why I'm drinking this hot coffee. It's really early in the morning. You see I'm naked. I mean, it's beautiful out. It's just ritual. Again, I was saying it's, you know, look, it's decaf. I'm out of what I use. I use Nescafe instant. I don't like this stuff, but it's all I got. And I have no creamer. Oh, how hard. I don't have any creamer for my coffee. Oh, wow. It must just be the sugar that I want. Or it's just, you know, mental. From, you know, it's ritual. It's like smoking cigarettes. You know, it's just it's a fixation. It's a habit. But I bet you money it's all about this. This is the crack. Sugar. Maybe a little more. Just to be sure. This is definitely the problem. I know that I've got to cut sugar because my stomach is, you know, fat. And I've researched, you know, I've been exercising more, I'm smoking less. And it keeps popping up, sugar, sugar, sugar. So, speaking of that, I guess I'll retire with my decaf coffee and have a cigarette to start the morning. Got my solar over here, charging up some batteries. It's my old suitcase that I started with. That's 100 water. Thing's probably 8 years old. My little Goal Zero. But on these, you can see there's a little port on the back. Okay, so you can plug right in. You You see that? See, I'm just going USB-C out right into the devices. So you don't necessarily have to hook it up to the Jackery. I'm over here, I'm gonna make my coffee. And I'm looking for the coffee. And I think it's in this bag. So I open it up and instantly it's just disgusting, raw, spoiled fish. I go, how? What do you, I mean, did my sardines, because I like sardines, something must have split open. But it's not. Here's the culprit. Esbit stove. If you know the little fuel tabs that come with it, which are these things. I don't know what's in it, but they smell just like dead, rotting, hot, steamy fish. So now I gotta air this backpack out and remember to put those in a real tight Ziploc. It's time for lunch. Today I'm having Mountain House buffalo style chicken mac and cheese. It's got 36 grams of protein and 580 calories. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna use my favorite new little tool here, which is this fire maple. You hear me talk about it all the time just because it's changed everything so much for me. You saw me cooking on that Coleman gas and it took, I don't even know, 4 minutes to get water to boil. You'll see this thing. I love this. This is the little stand. It's a little kickstand, tripod for your butane. It takes a second to figure out how it latches on. We gotta play with it. There it goes. But it just changes everything because now I can set this anywhere and I've got, it's stable. You know, it's not gonna flip on me. Here it comes. And I figured out inside here there's markings inside the fire maple. So I figured out that 1 cup is 0.25 liters, I think. So I can see in here, so now I have an idea of how much water. Because I've been drowning my Mountain House with too much water. So let's see if I get it right this time. I've always just guessed, but it's a bummer when it's like liquid soup. So I'm gonna guess that that's a cup. All right, here we go. Where is that starter? There it is. Get that baby going. A wild thing. I just checked the weather. And it just, something, I've entered the twilight zone, I don't know. Because it's saying that it's 52 degrees. And basically I've been in shorts, I've had my shirt off all morning. Shorts, flip-flops. And when the sun's out, I mean, I just can't believe it. It can't be. There's no way in my life I would run around in shorts, no shirt, and flip-flops if it's 52 degrees. It's not happening. It would have minimum 80, you know. I know myself. So is it the altitude? Am I closer to the sun, or is this a dream? Is this a twilight zone? It's very strange. Very strange. I've been up here now for 3 nights, and I just saw my second human. First human I saw was the sheriff in a big 4x4. He didn't even say hello. I mean, he waved through the glass, but he didn't stop, nothing. And I can hear people. They've been up there somewhere shooting. I can hear ARs and stuff going off. But not a single human until just now. I'm prepping to make this Mountain House lunch, and you can hear, you know, human, so I can hear a bicycle wheel and a chain coming. So I look out and here he comes. It's this big 7-foot tall dude on a mountain bike. And he had a little backpack on, and he came by, and I came out and I go, "How you doing, brother?" And he just went and just kept going. So who knows where he's at. Got busy talking to the camera, blabbing, and this thing's already done. I mean, that's been like, you know, however long I was talking to the camera. A minute and a half, maybe. I always keep saying this, but be real careful. I burned myself the first time with this, with that lid. I've got to put something through the top so I have a little, you know, something to grab it with because it burned me. All right, make our chow. I'm very excited. Excited about 36 grams of protein. Get our little bonus pack out of there. Looks like Cheetos. I love how this thing just stays together. The fire maple. You know, this unit. See how I can grab it? I'm supporting the tank and the fire maple basically at the same time. That's hot there. Be careful, but it's just very convenient. My spoon. I've never had one of these long titanium spoons, but I finally broke down and spent the $9.99 to get one. It's nice for these things because you get it, you know, you got some space. My other one's shorty, so you're always digging around in there. Yeah, that water level definitely helps. I can see instantly that that's going to make a big difference. Before, I've always been drowning it. Whoa, it's got a little kick to it. A little spicy. I've been shocked at how it's changed. Things have changed with spice in the United States. I mean, I remember everything used to be very bland, but I think with different influx of cultures moving here and different foods being introduced to the palate, seems like everything I get now has a little spicy kick to it, which I love. Yeah, this is a trick. So say you've got a wool hat or synthetic hat, anything, you know, putting it in there, being careful that it doesn't explode and ruin your item, but just helps that heat up, retain that heat even quicker. Give it 10 minutes and ready to eat. I just came around the side of the west side of the van because that's where I hide the Snapple. Anything that you want to stay cool, you know, keep it on the west side because the sun comes up on the east, and so you've got a lot more time that it can stay cool. Last night I told you that I was hearing something landed on the roof and I could hear something, right? Look at this. Some little critter was trying to get in the Snapple. Can they smell it? I mean, why would they even try and get into this? Isn't that wild? Critters. Let's check on my solar while we're waiting for the chow here. What's amazing is how quickly things change. So this one, I think, like I said, it's got to be 8 years old, I think. Here's a bad thing that I did. This, when you're charging something off it, you want to keep it out of the sun, right? This is the Rock Pals. It's been a great unit, but look how quickly things change. Now any of these suitcase, that's what these are called, suitcases, they have built-in little legs, right? 3 little legs that help support it. That's how quickly things change. When this one's made, that didn't even exist yet. But, yeah, she's charging. Yeah, so when you have those legs, then you get a, you know, guaranteed 45-degree angle to the sun. Like, these are not correct right now. So I'm losing a lot. If I could get those cambered back a little bit, I'd be picking up a lot more sun. Still drying things out. Oh yeah. Those are all good. I think it's time to eat. All right. And here's one of my snapples that's been over there. I mean, it's 2 in the afternoon right now. So the sun has just passed over. Now it's hitting that side, which is the west side. And this is, I wouldn't call it ice cold, but it's pretty close. So definitely worth shuttling your stuff around. If you've just got a cooler even, everything's in it. You know, when you go to bed at night, keep it on the west side because the sun's going to rise in the east and set in the west. So you've got all that time versus if you left it out on the east side and the sun comes up, well, now it's baking from sunrise, which is at, 6:30 in the morning. You're losing all that valuable shade to keep it cool. What are we having again? Buffalo style chicken mac and cheese. Okay. Oh, yeah, the water definitely different than what I normally do. I told you how I've been, all my mountain house turned into soup. Look at that thick paste. That's good. The water just hydrates you, so it doesn't matter. But this just feels better. Smells real cheesy and definitely got spice on it. I can't believe it's got that much spice in it. For real. Excellent. It's thick. I mean, look at that. Get away from me. All right. Gonna chow down, and then I think I want to go look and see, because I'm burning through water, and you've got to have a water source close by. That's important. Water, water, water. Look at all these flies. Oh, they smell the mac and cheese. So, I'm going to walk down. I'd take the van, but see, that's the thing. When you set up a base camp and you've got the awning out, that's the big thing. It only takes me, a couple minutes to put the awning away, but it's just a pain in the ass, right? Because I could just take the vehicle and go scabbing and go look for this water. But I'm pretty sure it was just around that bend, a waterfall coming down off the side of the hill. So I'm going to eat and we'll go explore. Plus, I got to get some firewood. And I saw some nice pieces, so I'll grab the silky saw. Or maybe, no, I forgot I've got the Ryobi electric battery-powered saw. So I'm cheating. Anytime you can cheat. If you're not cheating, you're not doing it right. So I'm going to take that. Okay, time to do the dishes. I can't believe how spicy that mountain house just was. My eyes are watering. You can see it. My nose, I'm all plugged up. I'm stuffed up from something. And I'm draining. I can't believe how spicy that was. Very good. Just shocking. All right, time to do the dishes. Apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, red wine vinegar, any kind of vinegar. First, get off any little residue that's on there. You can just, lick it clean. And that's it. Then just wipe it down. And that's worked for me for the last 8 years. Never been sick. And I wipe everything down, my skillet that I cook steak on, and so raw meats and everything. You can look it up. Vinegar. And don't forget, you're going to smell like a giant salad, but it's worth it. Have I ever shown you my toilet? My toilet? Want to see my toilet? This is my toilet, right? See how it's marked red? Danger. Make sure it's marked red, and yeah, I've got some stories about that. And then this is my toilet. Look at that. Literally, it's, you know, a paint bucket, but half the size of a normal paint bucket. And then you just have a bunch of these plastic bags that you get for free at Safeway. You want to make sure that there's, you know, thick. Like this, Winco, Safeway, Albertsons, don't get the thin ones. And you literally just line that bag, and you've got your toilet paper that can live inside here. And you'd be shocked. I mean, you can see the circumference of this. You know, it's maybe, I bet it's 10 inches, something like that. But this little thing, you know, for inside your van, say you're parked in a parking lot or whatever, and you got to go to the bathroom, it actually works. It takes a little getting used to, but that's it. So here's your bathroom. You know, as long as you've got curtains or tinted windows and privacy, this is all you need. So here's that piece of firewood, this tree that's down here. You can see how big it is. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. It's got to be, you know, 15, 20 feet. And hey, I'm taking that. I mean, that's like a full night of firewood right there. Look at that, baby. Beautiful. Yeah. And I'm lucky, because see, the van's just after that bend back there, so I'm looking for water right now, but on the way back I'll grab this. I'll set it off to the side so nobody gets hurt. Free. Look at this baby right here. You know, with the real chainsaw. I mean, that's a big boy. You could get down probably to about there. And this is a huge, I mean, let's see. So that's, you know, 12 inches, probably. Free. All along here as I'm walking, I'm looking back in, and there's just endless. I mean, it's on a grade a little bit, but I can see up in there that there's some level spots, and it's just endless. I mean, same here. You know, obviously this is going downhill, but then I can see back there that it's level. There's little ridges. Endless places to camp forever. So the spot that I found that I'm at, I've never been here before. I've always heard about it. It's Trillium Lake. I'm right by Mount Hood, Oregon. And it's just always so fun to find new places. You know, you add them to your little Rolodex, you know, of places. And now with computers and stuff, oh, I just heard a big something buzzed or something growled. You can hear my bag. It's okay to have your bag make a noise when you're walking around. There it is again. I don't know if you know this technique, but it's called sills. Stop. Look. Listen. Smell. Sounds like a human voice. Maybe there's campsites down there, because I know that's the direction of the lake, Trillium Lake, and voices travel for miles sometimes. Anyway, so my bag's real noisy right now, but that's okay, because I want to let, you know, all I'm really concerned about up here are mountain lions. So I want to let, you know, make noise. You can even, you know, hey, 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 you know, clap your hands, whatever, let them know you're coming. I mean, they know you're coming either way, but because they can smell you. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, right there. Look at that. Can you see this? Beautiful. There's a campsite right there. That's level. Kind of. But it would work. I mean, look at all these natural... Look at that right there. See that? See this right here? Look at that. You could live right underneath there. I mean, you've got natural shelters. Look at that. Up off the ground right there. Protect you from the rain. So yeah, making a little noise. Plus, I've always got my bodyguard on me. So, if any... I've only seen a couple mountain lions, but I got to see one right up close. I was by... It's a Native American casino. Starts with a Roland. What is that called? Ronald? I'll remember it. And I was there. I'll never forget it. It was the wildest story. I've got my little campsite set up. Grand Ronde, Oregon. And I'm up, there's these two lakes. I think they used to be military installations. There's like a small lake, it's called, and big lake. And I'm so excited I get there. And I am setting up. And I'll never forget this. It's pretty tragic, actually. And I hear a 4x4 coming. It's coming up. Boom, it pops up. It rolls into where I'm at, because I'm in like kind of a clearing. Rolls in, the passenger door opens, and a dude just flops out of it like a dead body. Just boom, right? So door opens with that inertia. Boom, he falls out. Boom, and it's a lifted truck. So he falls, 4 feet. Boom, onto the thing. I stand, I go, holy shit. The driver, and there's someone in the middle, they get out, and they pick the dude up. They're kind of kicking him. Hey, man, come on. And they are drunk. And they sit him up, and he's got, this is like 10 years ago, and he's got like a mullet, and he's all, I think he reaches in, they give him a beer, and he's, I mean, these guys are wasted drunk. I'm sure they're doing blow or something, too. And they see me, and I go, I'm looking at him like, you guys okay? And he goes, oh, yeah, dude, this happens all the time, man. And he goes, hey, be careful. We just passed a mountain lion. Big one coming up. I go, okay. They get back in. Woo, they take off. So now it's on my mind. One, can I really trust them? Are they hallucinating? Because I'm telling you, they're wasted. Fall down drunk. And I'm there, I'm doing my stuff. And sure enough, I don't even know if it was 10 minutes later, I'm doing my stuff and on a road just like this. It was just like this. And I was over here on my little thing. And from around the corner, I hear the, kind of a gallop. And boom, here he comes. Big, beautiful mountain lion. And it just ran down this dirt road or gravel road. And it didn't even look at me. It just went right by me. And that was it. That's the closest I've ever come. But they're, they live here. I always tell people, we're the tourists, right? But we're here. Oh, look. See that reflector? So that's a mile marker of some sort. And we're the tourists. We're visiting. They live here. So you have to understand that. This is their turf. So it's not their fault. You know what I'm trying to say? But I also want to protect myself or my loved ones. So I'm always carrying a gun. You've seen the videos of the mountain lions when they're coming up. That would just scare you to death when they're charging. Rah, rah, and you're going to try and make noise or, do you run? Do you not run? You're not supposed to run, but, where are you going to go if you run? Say you try and, you're going to run up the tree. They can climb that tree to the top. They'd be up there in 2 seconds. You're not going to outrun them. You're not going to outclimb them. Anyway, that's my mountain lion story. So it's always, always with me at all times. You have to respect it and know that this is their home. Look, I just came around the corner. For the first time, I can see Mount Hood. You see it back there? Well, I'm aborting the mission because I've been walking now for 30 minutes. And I'm thinking it may have been when I first left the freeway. Not the freeway, but the highway. Because from the highway to the Welcome Center was 1 mile. And I think maybe that's where I saw the little side waterfall. There's another great thing you can do. Get yourself a stick. Because now you've got 6 feet. No, it's not 6 feet. Let's say it's, I don't know, 5 feet between you and a person. Right? You can go jousting. But that gives you, some distance. It's all about distance, right? And this is you could whack something with this. Oh, I see water. You won't believe it. There's water. There's a little water, and I'm almost back to camp, to base camp. I'll show you. There's water. I just saw it. Let's check it out. I'm standing here talking to you, and I catch a glimpse. Look at it. That's water. And it's, oh, Jesus. It's flowing, too. Look at that. It's in algae. I mean, that's pure algae around it. So that water's good. Where's it coming from? That's the big one, is if we could find out where it's coming from. I'll investigate, but that water is beautiful. It's coming from, look at that, crystal clear, beautiful water. I could 100% grab this with the grail. And we're set. And how ironic. I went all that way. 30 minutes walking, looking, and I've got a beautiful source right here. And I'm looking at it. It's running through algae, and I can see you always want to make sure there's life. So I'm looking for little tadpoles or bugs, anything, to show it's alive. Spiders, on the water. If you get to water and it's dead, and you see nothing living in it, I'd be careful. But this is perfect. So now what I'm doing is I'm walking on the side of the road, and I'm following it to see how, hopefully I can find out where it starts. But I don't think I missed a waterfall coming down on the side of the road, and I can see right here it's dry. So if I turn back around, let's see in there. No, dry, dry, dry. And then here, full water. So it's right about here. That it's coming down this little bank. Right about here. Yeah, and here you can see just a few feet up. I don't want to get stuck, but you can see here it's just bone dry. Right? Nothing. Dry. Okay, because I didn't come prepared and bring some way to get out the turbidity or stuff that's in the water, because I thought I was going to this little waterfall thing, I'm improvising. So I took my shirt off that's 100% cotton, and I'll use that. So I'm going to dip into the water, okay, with this Pathfinder canteen cup. Then I'm going to take the water from here. I've got my 100% cotton shirt over the cut from the Grail. And this may be overkill, but just to be safe, I don't want stuff in my water. I want to be able to get it up quickly. So you can see how beautiful. Can you see the water that it's running? See how it's moving? Beautiful. So now I can pretty quickly grab up the water. Let that soak a little bit. Right, it just makes it easier for me. And I can see little particulates in there. Yeah, there's some. We'll see at the end what comes off the shirt. Not too much, that's pretty clean water. Let's see our level. Look at that. That's just about right. So we'll call that good. But here's what we got off by straining it. So that's not going into our Grail filter and, you know, killing it. So now, can't do this with one hand, I don't think. But this is a brand new filter. Let's see, maybe I can. One-handed. If you've been following my thing, my last Grail had 5 years on it. And even with two hands, it took like 30 seconds. So I just got this new filter. And I just did that with one hand. There we go. And now, I brought my stainless steel 32 ounce. Right? So now, I can take this disinfected water from the Grail. I'm going to prime this. Right? Just get some clean water around the cap and the lid. And now I'm going to fill up my 32 ouncer with disinfected clean water. Tastes beautiful. So now I'll rinse and repeat. I'll keep doing this until I fill up the 32 ounce, and then I'll fill this up, and I've got, you know, basically 32 ounce. I think this is 30 or 28 or something, but there you go. That's why the Grail is so beautiful. So this whole thing that just happened with this, you know, filling up the Grail is a perfect example of how not being prepared can make things difficult. I wasn't prepared because in my mind I thought one thing. I'm going to a waterfall where the water is free flowing, so I'm not going to be, you know, trying to get stuff out of it. And I end up not finding that and show up to a little, I don't know, it's just a little ditch on the side of the road, but it's a flowing little creek where now I can do it, but you can even still see the stuff that I was able to keep out. But I had to sacrifice my shirt. And the only reason that works is because it's beautifully warm, right? If this is the dead of winter, this wouldn't be happening, or cold, wet, rain. So I wasn't prepared. Where was my bandana that I always have? Where was my, you know, Millbank bag that's sitting right there? But I go, I won't need this. So you never know. You've got to prepare. You've got to be prepared for everything. Too funny. Look at this. This is the same way I walked 30 minutes ago, and this wasn't here. So that's, I don't know what that is. Somebody knows. Is that a Yodi? That doesn't, it looks too big to be a Yodi. But that's fresh. So, you know, something's out here. Obviously, there's millions of critters out here. I wish you could feel, this is the shirt that I just used to filter out the debris from that creek water. I've had it on my hand like this. My hand is like frozen. I swear to God, it's almost numb. That's how ice cold this water is. Amazing. All right, we're close, because here's my firewood. That's one piece. This is the big one I want right now. Got a nice little handle on it. All right. Now here's a trick for you, or a tip for you. When you're doing this kind of stuff, snapping, don't look at it. Close your eyes. Because when this explodes, it's an explosion. Ah, it's naughty. You can see this isn't not totally dry yet. It should just be snap, crackle, popping. Right, but look at that. It's still holding on. But it's a great way to get a bunch of little kindling. You find one that looks like this. These little babies are important. See, that's green. See that? See that bend? Useless. I mean, it'll dry out, but I want something right now. Yeah, when I say babies, I'm talking I'll show you. Right, so look at the difference. Can you see it? Let's see. See those tiny little babies? Those are important. And it's very detailed. But these tiny little pencil lead basically is what we call them. Versus this, strip that bark off there too. This is gonna go up before this is gonna go up. So these little ones do matter. Right? Anyway, grab it all. And this is what I was talking about, where you take the time before to prep, right? So I'm prepping right now. So now I've got my, pencil lead size, my babies. That took me what? 2 minutes. And now I'm prepping. I'm getting ready to make the fire before I make the fire. So I was saying this in the last video. In every video, I always say the same thing. When you're building a fire, it's all about putting in the time before you're ready to start the fire, right? So you put in the 10 minutes of prepping everything. So I've gathered, you just saw me break down that branch. So I've got little, babies, and also got some medium sized, okay? Basically it works like, you got your thumb size, pinky size, and then the babies, which are like pencil lead, if you think of it like that. So I've got those here ready to go. I've got my, little thumb sizes here. And then here on the ground, up the fire, you see that I've built a raft. So the first thing whenever you're starting a fire is you're gonna build the raft. You want it to be pretty sizable. These are probably, an inch. If you can see this, I'm just building a raft. Like a wooden raft. Because then we always build the fire on top of the raft. Okay? So that way, as this burns down, right, we start our fire, our little babies and pencil lead, thumb size here. So that starts burning down, and that fire then starts burning that raft, creating coals and heat. Then we're gonna go, here. And then eventually we're gonna go here. But you start from, the little tiny baby, and you gotta work your way up. Because you'll see people try and, if you're new to it, this is 4 inches thick.
So you can't just, you know, throw a 4-inch thick log in and take a lighter to it and try and get it to go. It's never going to happen. But the biggest thing is prepping, you know, getting it all ready before you go to start it. So I know these are on my left. My thumb size are here. All right, I've got my raft ready. That way I can navigate easily and doom, 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 doom. We got fire. Okay, it's been about a year since I've made feather sticks or used a ferrocerium rod to get a fire going. And the truth is, you know, normally I'm gonna just I'm cheating, using gasoline, and so I'd have no need for this, really. But I'm just trying to get my groove back, right? Because it's all a feel, and it's wear on the knife that you're, you know, getting into the wood. Kind of coming. But I'm definitely out of shape. And that's why it's important to practice your skills. Anyway, that's the goal. But when you're in shape, you can do this, you know, it's a feel. And so every pull, you'll nail it. Let's see. Gotta get an edge. One tip I can tell you, though, is you can just use the shavings also, but have a little vessel, okay? So this bark is my vessel, because we don't want these shavings that are drying out right now, or dry, getting on the cold, damp ground. This is my ultimate all-time go-to fire starter, okay? That is Vaseline and cotton balls. One, it's cheap. This is 99 cents at the dollar store. This is 99 cents at the dollar store. And I've been using it for my whole life, and it's never failed me. I've found, you know, because I make these in little Ziploc bags. I'll put a whole bunch of them in there. And I've found Ziploc bags that were, you know, 10 years old, full of these. Work just like they did today, you know, because they were sealed, so the petroleum doesn't deteriorate. But it's just, I mean, how much more basic can you get? And it's really, you know, the cost. You know, so for $2 here, I have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them. And again, if you keep them in a plastic little, you know, bag, you're just ready to go. Okay, the moment of truth. Time to start our fire. So, it's all about the preparation. So the first thing I did is I put down a raft. Okay, a log raft. So that way our fire can burn on top of it, and that'll create coals. Then you saw me strip these down, so I've got little pencil lead, baby, and thumb size. And those are sitting right here, okay? To my right, I've got some larger little thumb sizers. They're sitting right here. Here on this little piece of bark, I've got my shavings, okay? They're ready to go. And here on this piece of bark, I've got my Vaseline infused cotton balls. So it's just like cooking, right? Food preparation. I know where everything is. So that way it's doom, doom, doom. I've also got a bag that I had a donut in, and these are great because this is waxed paper. So this is a great little fire starter. And then finally, I've got my ferrocerium rod and my knife. And when you get out your ferrocerium rod, when you get them, they'll come like this, coated in black. You've got to remove that black to get them to start sparking. But I find that even once you pick up a ferrocerium rod, for some reason, it's like they're cold. I don't think scientifically it's true, but if you give it a couple strikes, it seems to come to life. Does that make sense? So, the way this is going to work is I'm going to put down a couple of these shavings here. My cotton ball right in the center. And then I'm gonna set my knife and my ferrocerium down to my right so I know where they're at, never lose them. With this, I'm gonna break it basically into two parts, okay? And I'm gonna cross them. See, like this, an X. And I'm gonna put those down over the cotton ball once I get it sparked up. You'll see. So it's kind of like a little dance. So I've got this broken into my two pieces. Got some more shavings I'll add. I got my little thummies, so we're good to go. Now with the ferrocerium rod, you don't want to push it onto it, you want to pull it, okay? So if you can see, I'm pulling with my left hand. I'm doing the lawnmower. I'm pulling away. Make sense? So I'm aiming at my cotton ball. You'll see it'll hit. Now I'm going to take advantage and get this guy going because it's wax paper and it loves to burn. So we're kind of cheating. All right. Got my vessel full of, again, I'm putting down my knife and my ferrocerium rod. I'm real mindful of where those are. You never want to lose that stuff. Get some of these guys into the mix. Again, we're just cooking. I'm going to take my two pieces here, kind of make an X over it. And we're going to just let that grow, okay? Once we see those flames coming out above these twigs, again, I'm minding my ferrocerium out of my knife. Put those down right over there. And I can see how quick that's come up. So I'm going to take my thumb size. I'm going to basically kind of make a little teepee around it, laying these guys in. And the biggest thing you got to remember is that fire loves chaos. So it doesn't like anything that's mathematically correct, like eighth of an inch, eighth of an inch, eighth of an inch. No, chaos. It wants chaos. You can see right away we're coming up above that. So I'm going to go ahead and put on a, 2-inch thick, get it going. Why not? And I may even, I've got something that's already burned here, so we know this is good to go. It's dry and it's already charcoal. So we'll just get that in the center. And that's how we go. We just let it keep going and consuming more. Let it eat, right? Because fire needs three things. It's a triangle. The saying that I got from Lonnie from Far North Bushcraft is, you have to have it. Heat, oxygen, fuel. HOF, you have to have it. And that's what we have to have is, right? Heat, we've got the fire. Oxygen, it's flowing well. And fuel is our wood. You have to have it. And that's pretty much the cycle of life. Then this guy would go here. Right? You got fire. Don't forget your ferrocerium rod and your knife. Always know where you set this down. You don't want to lose it. Goes back in its case. Well, I just had my mountain house and my phone is full capacity. I've got like 1 megabyte left. So I've got this beautiful fire going, nice and smoky. Smells like mesquite. Somebody must have brought some wood up here. Using my flashlight. Look at that smoke. Isn't that beautiful? All right. I will catch you on the next one. Ciao.